Around 2.5 million migrants and refugees from Venezuela have crossed the border to neighbouring Colombia, fleeing crisis at home in search of a better life. Many have settled just across the border, creating their own settlement, sometimes in harsh conditions. Our Latin America correspondent Nicole Ris reports.
That special place called home, built from plastic sheets and cardboard, or if they're lucky, wood and metal. That's what residents of this informal settlement on the outskirts of Maicao are forced to make do with. Elsa Maribel is one of them. 5 years ago, she left Venezuela, and even though there is no running water here and barely any electricity, for her family of 5, this was a better option than staying in her home country.
I fell into a diabetic coma and was hospitalized, and we couldn't find medicine, not anything. My husband back then was a master builder and electrician. He had a good job and was able to keep us fed, week after week. But he lost everything. There was no more work.
A move across the border was inevitable. Elsa Maribel is now receiving medical care in Colombia. The situation is tough though. Prices are rising, jobs now difficult to get. Most families in this settlement, alongside an old landing strip, struggle to put food on the table.
La Pista is one of 54 informal settlements here in the area, and there is an estimate of 13,000 people living here. And those are the ones who are the most vulnerable and poor. Others who can afford it try to continue their journey to other cities in Colombia or even towards the US.
Children are the most affected by these circumstances. They fall behind in education. Local initiatives and the UN Refugee Agency are getting some of them back on track. They get a meal and learn how to write, read and do math. It is a relief for parents like Daniela Artencio, who has 3 children.
This is what gives me strength to stay here, that the kids can go to school. Because if they were in Venezuela, they wouldn't have any of this. Sometimes I wish I could go back. But I stay here because of this. For them.
But the settlement, as well as the other 53 in the area, was built without planning permission. On her way home, with her youngest one, she worries about one thing more than any other.
That tomorrow they will kick us out.
The mayor of Maicao says that there is no intention to clear the settlement. But with regional elections coming up, the leadership could change. The UN Refugee Agency is working on plans to make the settlement legal.
Legalization is the first step so people can get access to legal services. Then they could have a sewer system running water, sanitation and electricity. This would help guarantee life with dignity for the people here.
An hour north of Maicao, in Uribia, the legalization process is already reality. Houses are being built with better materials. People are reassured they can stay. And they are especially proud of their new school facilities. They don't take them for granted. Maria Virginia Palacio arrived in the once informal settlement, fleeing the crisis in Venezuela. She helped to build the school and teaches here now.
Legalization has awakened hope among the residents, because now we know the situation is stable. This is something that will be here and it's not going away, including this school. Like many things, it was difficult in the beginning, but now we're seeing progress.
But here too in Uribia, there is no running water. A truck comes every so often, but now the path has been paved toward better infrastructure, like public water fountains.
Our organization's dream is that we'll achieve legalization this year. That's our expectation. Of course, there are many factors to consider, changes in government, for example. But over the next few years, we could have real solutions here.
Improvements step by step. Maybe they will also become a reality in Maicao at some point, for its people who are resilient, who have made their home here against all odds.